was
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grease and Oil. If you haven't noticed, Matt ain't here, bitch.
Oh, thank God. It's about time we got rid of that kid.
Yeah, so basically, hello, welcome to the Grease and Oil podcast, the only podcast on the internet to give you daily dosages of wooden railway reviews and unlucky tugs, but no Matthew Sonics. So, welcome. This is an exclusive episode recorded by me, Vinnie Smith, Mr. Conductor Fuck, and there's no Matt. This is the first time we've ever done this, so it's going to be a little more amateur because Matt's kind of an expert with this sort of thing. But today, our guests are
the TOMSON
and
formerly WoodenRailwayReviews. Now, what is it? What is it we're playing with now? Is the wind-ups? Is that it? Oh, that's the big thing right now. Cool thing to be.
The cool kids are all into the wind-up toys from exclusively Japan.
Now, wind-up reviews here.
All right. Yeah, so basically we have Rob, the meme live stream king, and Unlucky Tug, the guy who just sort of sits in his room and makes funny, goofy Twitter pictures with his toys.
Yep. That pretty much describes my life.
And the theme of today's episode, we're not reviewing anything. We're not talking about anything specific. Actually, psych, we are talking about the fact that this is the first time that Nick, the Unlucky Tug, has ever actually spoken to Robert McGee. We got Rob on the call about 3 minutes ago. So, introduce yourselves.
Well,
to each other.
Tug.
Yeah.
All right.
Is this all you got? All right.
So this is bizarre because I've known about the Unlucky Tug on and off for, let's see how many
You've
years
had an
now.
on and off relationship for many years.
Yes. I've known about this guy
For over 20 years.
Yes. For over 20 years. Actually, almost 10 years I've known about the Unlucky Tug.
Jesus.
And I can tell you that he is a veteran of this community. You know, a lot of people have come and gone, and some of them just died, right? But
the Ryan Carman!
Ah, yes, the Ryan Carman!
What?
And Cam Scott, all those guys. Tom Tomica.
Yes.
I love Tom Tomica. That's a great guy.
Oh, man. It's so bizarre because, like, in 2007, Vinnie was just like...
I was 6 years old in 2007, and I was watching YouTube.
Really? Well, you had some very, I don't know if your parents were cool or just...
Terrible.
At 6 years old, there was no YouTube for me and Nick, okay? There was no YouTube!
I have the memory in my mind of my first instance of watching Thomas online. The first thing I looked up on a computer was Thomas the Tank Engine, no capital letters. And the first video response or video result that came up in 2007 was Train Lover 476's Accidents Will Happen Tomy music video remake.
Oh, that's funny.
I think most people...
The oldest Thomas video on YouTube. Oh my god.
Most people in the audience will be familiar with that.
Yeah.
He used to do remakes, like way back in 2007. He had remakes, right, with the actual like audio.
Yeah.
He would remake the episodes and would use like the UK narration. Like I remember he did Twin Trouble that was like the first time I ever heard like the UK version of that. And I'm like,
I heard the first. I looked at my when I was 6. My favorite episode was Salty's Secret from season 6, and I looked up Salty's Secret, and the first result was an Alec Baldwin narration, and one of the related videos was Salty's Secret UK. I was like, what the fuck is a UK?
What does that mean? Yeah.
I knew what England was. I didn't know what the UK was, that abbreviation. And like, wait, why is this Alec Baldwin one US? What's so special about the US version? I didn't know. And then I discovered Michelangelo's, and the first sound I heard of him was going, "The engines on the island of Sodor, or Sir Topham Hatt's engines love their work, but sometimes it can be too much." And it all went downhill from there.
It is. His voice.
Pretty much.
I heard Ringo Starr narrating Wrong Road. It was in a J.J. Sheepus Toby remake. Is that how you spell his last name?
Oh my god, yeah, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, and I heard Ringo Starr narrating Wrong Road. I was like, what?
Like, he didn't do this one. This was on James Goes Buzz Buzz. George Carlin did that. What?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, it's weird the first time I heard it, because I remember being so confused. I remember being like, wait a minute, is this a recording I never heard? And then I discovered the whole dubbing thing. That was like, I felt cheated. I felt like, what? There's just like these different versions of the episode that exist with different titles, simpler titles. Like, oh my god, Gordon Takes a Dip was originally called Off the Rails.
And instead of freaking what was it? Thomas and Birdie's Great Race. It's just called Thomas and Birdie. You know, you don't need the Great Race part of it. The Great Race, as we know, as history has shown us, the Great Race is never something to associate with Thomas and Friends. Any great races of any kind, it's just a bad idea. You're never going to end up with a good product.
Racing has never been a thing that Thomas has been big on. Never.
Well, you know, you'll get bounced about like peas in a frying pan. Simple as that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I hate how they had to oversimplify the titles. Like, what was it? Thomas and Gordon became Thomas Gets Tricked. Thomas didn't really get even tricked in that episode. Like, he wasn't like deceived into doing something. He got fucked over.
Thomas gets. I have a feeling that the episode title of Thomas Gets Fucked Over would not be a good first entry into the series.
Oh, it'd be great.
But it's more accurate because that's what happened. Like, it wasn't as if Thomas got tricked into doing something. He did his job. He pulled the coaches right into the platform, and then somebody fucked up. Somebody forgot to uncouple him. He can't uncouple himself. It wasn't Gordon's fault.
Gordon just got really, really lucky that the karma came as fast as it did.
Yeah, like
how did Gordon know Thomas was like still coupled up when he set off? Like, he can't see behind him. Like, it was just by chance, right?
Yeah.
What if
Gordon didn't do anything?
What if he's like, get in quickly, please? And it's like, oh, sorry, we just have to wait for the disability ramp to come down. Right? Like,
We just have to we have to segregate the coaches from straight, gay, and bisexual, alright?
oh, God forbid you talk about, God forbid you say anything bad about gay people on a train, because you'll get arrested according to Chris Thompson, right?
See, the thing with Chris Thompson, I feel like he uses it's like he uses his disability almost to his advantage. He's like, ooh, I'm a gay person in a wheelchair. If you say anything bad about me, you're going to hell. So I'm just gonna say the worst shit you've ever heard.
I think his Twitter name, like his username, kind of says it all. Like, he has the handicap logo
in his username. It's people just like, hey guys, I really, really want you to know I have a handicap. No particular reason. I'm still like, I'm handy-capable, but like, still, just never forget that.
I remember back in the day, Chris Thompson, like, he would do like music video remakes. He would like upload like new episodes.
He did. No, I remember he did the top 20 best Thomas songs, and it was on the account name of Thomas, Percy, and Toby 2.
Yeah. Back when he was that username.
Uh huh.
I don't know what happened.
I remember he was Chris T, like 1 million or something, but he didn't capitalize the T, so I thought it was Christ.
Oh.
He's like, what is he, like, Christ 1 million? Wow, what a very...
Christ, what
like... No, I don't have anything against him. I just think that in this story where, like, the couple was getting arrested because they were like, we don't like gay people. I was like, wow, that's not fascist, right?
Yeah.
Sir Stalin hat who's on the railway. No, but like, I don't know. It's weird that like some of these people have evolved into these like Chris Thompson, right? Who was just a regular MSTS user, became like the far left, minority of the Thomas community, the volatile, takes on everybody, right? It's strange how things turn out,
One of my guilty pleasure favorite memes is if somebody did it during one of our live streams, and it was, I don't know who did it or when, but it was Chris Thompson's wheelchair wheelies. You remember that?
Please.
It was like a PS2 cover or something.
Oh God, who did this?
It was so funny.
You can probably find that on Twitter. There's I think a guy called Honest Thomas Fan.
Yeah, that's who it is. That's who it is.
It's probably him, but like, like he would do like a lot of like really like, you know,
Everybody hates
pushy stuff, right?
Mhm.
If he's still around, let's find out. A lot of this conversation became about like borderline hate speech.
See, that's why I wanted to get you guys on here, because, you know, I can conduct a conversation, an entertaining conversation with each one of you, fine, but put you two together, and you've got a double, like a superpower against the MPS. You know, there you go. So now we're gonna start our own podcast, called Diesel Oil and whatever.
Wooden reviews? I don't know.
I don't know. The Unlucky Wooden Reviews fan.
1406.
Mr. Unlucky Reviews fan 140602 or 04, whatever your number was back in the day.
Horrible.
I have gone through like 3 YouTube accounts, and the reason it was 02 was because the one before this one was TheUnluckyTug 1.
See, you made
channel, like a watermark that says TheUnluckyTug 1, because it was originally on that channel, and I made a new channel and it's called UnluckyTug 02.
Did you start out as UnluckyTug 06?
I did.
I remember that. I remember 06. That's the one. You can still, if you look up The Unlucky Tug on YouTube, one of the first results is like 06 or 04 or something.
Yeah, it was UnluckyTug 06. No, Then the second one was The UnluckyTug 1. Then the current one is The UnluckyTug 02. Why there's a 2 now, I have no idea. But or a 0, I have no idea.
It's funny because UnluckyTug username is still available.
Oh my God, Rob! What have
really?
you done?
Should have been UnluckyTug.
Oh my God.
I didn't think that.
This is terrible.
Okay, so Rob has just sent us an image in the chat, and I will put this in the description of the video. It is a fantastic rendition, very well edited. A Bachman Chris Thompson with moving head, deluxe, might I add, new in box.
I put that there as an example because that was by the same guy that made probably the wheelie thing.
Mhm.
Honest Thomas fan. He's the really, he's the raunchy guy who hates Chris Thompson apparently.
Apparently, don't we all?
He has a picture of him saying everybody hates Chris Thompson, right? It's like show Chris, and he put Thompson.
I really hope Chris Thompson doesn't watch Grease and Oil. Otherwise,
he would make some sort of like 7-minute long or 7-page long Twitter post about like how everything we do is blasphemous and wrong and why it's like too bloody Americanized, you know?
But here's the thing, like people don't normally make fun of a disabled kid, so it really has to like make you wonder what Chris Thompson did to like get people to hate him like this much, right?
Because like even right now, I feel kind of bad that we actually brought him up on a public thing that I'm going to be uploading to YouTube and people will be listening to, and it's not a private conversation on It's never a private conversation on Grease and Oil.
Yeah, well, like we're not pointing out that like we hate Chris Thompson.
Oh, no.
I just don't really, like I don't know the guy. I just know of him, and I just know that he's very opinionated. But
So are you.
he does get into a lot of beef with a lot of users. I know that.
Yeah.
That's his choice, right? I haven't thus far, but for someone to like make this account and post these, and these aren't like I have to admit, someone clearly put effort into this. So like it does make you wonder like what has happened, right? How has it gotten to this point?
I think this kind of problem just occurs with users that are just very opinionated.
Well,
I have people coming down on me because, like, you guys know I made a video about Duck a long time ago. And before that, like, I would, like, say things about it that people didn't agree with, and it would just start drama. And then people would, like, they don't like you because your opinion is different.
Well, actually, yeah, that happened.
I think it's just people's problem.
Oh, you found it.
2010, somebody made a hate channel about me, and it turned out to be one of my buddies. It was trades are cool too or something, right? He was a friend.
What a great username.
He made
There's like all caps too, right?
Hey, planes and cars are cool, but trades are cool too. Get it? Witty, so witty. But anyway, the point is that he made a hate channel about me, my friend, because he was mad because I was trying to like tell him, I think we were starting to do like, the Wooden Railway wasn't released until Thomas Wooden Railway wasn't released until 1993 or something like that, which now we know is half true because that's
with Roy and all that, yeah.
Well, the learning curve in Thomas Wooden Railway, as we know it, started in 1993, but in 1992 you had the prototypes or whatever they're called, or what it was known as early learning curve. Whatever. The point is though is that's
whatever.
So anyway, yes, I was able to find the horrible Chris Thompson's wheelchair wheelies.
All of these fantastic memes that we're talking about will be linked in the description below, so you can click and check them out. They're pretty fucking dope.
No, but I didn't make them. I don't support them. They're just there, okay? You know what? It's all your fault.
Okay, I think we've spent almost 10 minutes talking about Chris Thompson now.
I have nothing against Chris Thompson.
Can we talk about a different user? Can we just like talk
Let's talk about Zeo93 and how I know literally nothing about him other than he never stops posting about fucking Power Rangers.
He's the only Thomas user who joined in 2005. Is that true?
Wait, what'd you say?
He joined YouTube in 2005. Is that right?
Probably.
So did Miss Oliver and Blossom.
On TV. Do you guys remember TV.com? Does that ring a bell with any of you? Either of you?
Yes.
TV.com was like where it all started. That's where I met him. He was like one of the first Thomas fans there that posted like in the forums and all that.
Yeah.
Just kind of went from there. I don't want to say much about him, but he's a cool guy. I've known him forever.
Yeah, he seems like one of those people that has just survived. Because so many people there were probably Thomas fans on YouTube in 2005, but they probably all just were like, fuck it, just left, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, he's still around. And now he's aligned himself with TheUnluckyTug, who just happens to be the most popular Thomas fan on this website.
Except for Leo.
Well, Leo.
Does Leo count?
Leo, if he made Mad Bomber, if anyone made Mad Bomber at any point, even if they're not a Thomas fan, now they're still a Thomas fan, they did it at some point. He's a Thomas fan.
Okay.
In addition to a lot of other stuff, he's a Thomas fan. I consider him part of it.
Okay, two things. So, TheUnluckyTug, that is the second most popular, and I just have to say that when I tried to search him up, I got the Unlucky Dog 02.
That sounds like some sort of weird animal porn site.
Need to look this up. The
No.
Unlucky Dog.
No.
Apparently it's like a video game thing. I just looked that up.
Spanking doggy. Wow! Fuck that. Yes, look, let's go to. It's 093. There. Okay, why did I say 95? What the fuck was I thinking?
095.
It's 93.
Who's Zeo93?
Where's his YouTube?
Zeo. It's Zeo's YouTube is ZeoRed93.
And let's go to his about.
All right, so this let's make this a little more entertaining for the audience here.
Where's his goddamn YouTube channel?
You want me to link it? Here you go.
What? I think I got it now. Yes. Yes, he joined November 10th, 2005. So he will be. Yes, he will be 11 years old. Well, his YouTube channel will be. November.
93, yeah, 11 or 12, yeah. Holy crap! Maybe he was the oldest YouTuber. That's like the year YouTube became a thing.
No, that's the first year YouTube ever existed.
Well, yeah, that's right. April 2005. So the site wasn't even a year old, man. Wow.
I don't even think I made my YouTube until 2007, 2008.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I didn't hear about YouTube until spring 2007.
Spring 2007.
I wanted to make an account for so long, and then I finally did in 4th grade in 2010.
I started using the internet in 2004, 2005. I actually, funny enough, I joined MSN Messenger 4 days before YouTube was launched.
Wow.
That's where I got my first email.
That's impressive.
Wow.
Like, I didn't, like, I remember just going on, like, sorry, stupid websites, like, what was it, Buddy Junk, all that crap. Like, I wasn't really interested in, like, I don't know, the internet was still, like, a novelty, and as far as my parents were concerned, it was, like, it was a research thing, you could look up stuff and all that, so...
Yeah.
It wasn't really until like 2007 that I actually got back into Thomas, and I actually started like going, like, "Oh, is there other people on the internet that like Thomas too?"
That was the craziest thing to me when I found out there were other people in the world that were like just as obsessed with this franchise as I was. So I was like, "Oh my god, I'm fucking 13 or 12 or 13 when I first made my online account, and I thought I was the only one in the world that liked this stuff."
Well, the thing with that is, when I got onto YouTube, I was still within the range of, like, be like a normal person, like the normal age range of children liking Thomas, so I just never really got out of it.
It's so weird that you literally, Vince, were on YouTube when you were not only still a fan, but part of the demo.
Yeah, I was part of not Mattel yet, but I was part of Hit Entertainment's demographic when YouTube began, and I just never left. It wasn't like there are other older fans. I didn't qualify as an older fan at the point.
You were still a fan.
Yeah.
So weird.
I have nostalgic memories for Misty Island Rescue in the same way someone might have a nostalgic memory of seeing Magic Railroad in the theaters when they were 10 or whatever.
Well, I wasn't 10. I was younger.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I was like 6 or 7 when Magic Railroad came out.
I remember seeing the trailer for it. Like my mom being like, "Do you want to go see that movie?" I was like, I had my doubts. I was like, I don't know.
Sure you did.
You were
Of
a kid, you had
course.
Shut up! You weren't even alive then. When that happened.
I wasn't, but you know.
But I was a little kid. I was your age when you found out about this thing called YouTube. I was like, ooh, first grade. And I was a little shrimp. I was a stupid little kid.
Okay, don't be quoting Vinnie, but all right, you shrimp.
What?
The Vinnie, the engine. Watch where you going, shrimp. You know.
Oh, well, I haven't even seen that movie yet, so.
It's worth it. You should watch it.
Well, don't you find it degrading, Vinny, that they named the character after you and they made him the villain?
Not really.
I mean, that's got to be some kind of conspiracy.
Honestly, I mean, if they named, well, I mean, we had a big talk about this, but if Ryan had a similar, was like, oh, look, we named it after you, haha, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's obviously, I mean, because there's been conspiracies about us, about how we've affected the show. Obviously, we've affected the show. We got Duck back. That wasn't anyone except we are the ones that brought Duck back. You know, upon Hate Entertainment, it's like, fine, whatever, just we'll bring in this weird character. Why the fuck not? But like,
they're the first one they brought back too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess Jack was before him because King of the Railway came before.
True.
Season 7.
But like, you know, I still to this day, you know, Day of the Diesels is pretty freaking similar to the British Railway stories, and Misty Island Rescue is just a little too similar to Thomas Fan 8's Jeopardy, which came out, you know, like 8 months or so before the special was.
How on earth is Day of the Diesels similar to the British Railway stories?
Day of the Deltic is an entire episode about diesels, and it has like the exact same name.
Just the title is similar, or
the episode? It's. There's a big long list of comparisons.
Don't you find it interesting, Vinny, that there is a Canadian tank engine named Vinny that's a bad guy? Doesn't that just seem like so?
He's not a. He's like literally the opposite of a tank engine.
Canadian engine. Sorry.
Huge.
Engine that's named Vinny. That's a combination of you and me. That's slander.
He's not. He's not Canadian though.
What is he, like Boston, New York? What is that?
He's American. Wherever from, probably from the East Coast, most likely.
Yeah.
Well, why did they say he's Canadian?
Because Mattel wouldn't make up their mind in early promotion, and so eventually we got to the point where Vinny had his own little like promo video, and they showed the American flag, which means he's not Canadian.
But they said North America in that. They didn't even say United States.
But they
They're like,
showed the American flag, as if
Did you
the
know-
only
you know
as
with,
if the only flag of North America that mattered was the U.S. flag.
It's like they have a problem saying like the country's names. Like with Scotsman, they said, or no, it wasn't Scotsman. It was Spencer. They're like Spencer of the mainland. They can't say Spencer of England or Spencer of Great
I
Britain.
don't know. I feel like it's the same reason they never said, you know, they're going to the Barrow on the mainland or whatever. It's like they said Barrow in the TV show in season 19. They say Barrow in Furness, which is a real place. They name drop a real place in England and talk about it frequently, and we still can't say, oh yeah, Thomas traveled to England for the Great Railway Show. No, he traveled to the mainland. What the fuck is the mainland? It's England.
This isn't even like a recent thing. They've always done this. Like in a Special Letter, season 4, they don't even say the city they're going to.
Okay, that one makes a little more sense because obviously with Magic Railroad, Brit was trying to have this whole, oh yes, Thomas takes place in another magical universe where the trains can talk. Oh yes, blah blah blah. And you know, it's very clear that she was trying to distance herself very, very far from the Railway series by sitting it in its own weird train universe that would only be accessed, you know, little teeny man. I said this earlier, but little teeny man, and you give him some magic drugs, and you go through a portal, and then, you know, you're with the talking trains. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, Brit made sure that it's not like, oh yeah, Sodor's a place you can go and visit on Earth, kids. Just go and find Sodor. You know, she distanced herself so far from reality. That's why Magic Railroad exists, and that's why they went to the big city at the end of the line, or whatever it was.
Make sure you find some angel dust. I mean, some gold dust. Hey, you have to be consistent. See, that's the problem with the Railway series, is that a lot of the stories just take place on Sodor. And then out of nowhere, remember, it's just like, oh, by the way, the engines are going to England, and this is a Ginty 040604 tank engine for the... It's like, wait, Reverend, I don't give a shit. What is this information you're telling me? This is all out of nowhere, Reverend. Like, I hate that about when a Reverend just out of nowhere would be like, oh, by the way, there's a fucking engine. I'm sorry. I just have to get this.
Yeah, there's an entire fourth of Stepney the Bluebell engine, which is just Stepney talking to Edward about, well, you see, here's Captain blah blah blah, Captain whatever his name, philanthropist or whatever, and oh, here's this guy, and here's this guy, oh, Captain Baxter, I think that's his name. And it's like, oh, here's Bluebell, and oh, they're working on the Bluebell Railway, this real place in England. Oh, they preserved him. Oh, they didn't do this, and oh, this is an 0406 engine, blah blah. What?
I have to say, was 8 famous engines like the turning point for the Railway series? Because like you know how they say like this is the thing that's always been with me. Like Audrey claims that Thomas is an E2 Billington class, whatever. But in the early books, I don't think the engines were based on anything. I think they were just drawings, you know. Well,
the early books, the first guy, William Marshall, the first Railway series illustrator, was just like, Audrey just got rid of him because, you know, he was drawing complete fantasy engines. That's why Henry had so many problems, because Audrey literally wanted to kill him off with the Flying Kipper. They literally because the illustrator, like, all the other engines were real engines, and Audrey could say, hey, here's a picture of the real engine this character's based off of, you can do that. But Henry didn't have a basis, so they're just like, can we just get rid of him, I guess, and we'll make up an engine for him, I guess, or whatever. And then the Flying Kipper happens, and he has this weird Transformation Tuesday, and bing, now I'm a real engine, you guys, I swear.
It's just weird though, because the Railway series got more and more realistic over time, and it's funny because when it started out, at least in how I see it, it wasn't. I mean, the stories were realistic per se, but they were like cutesy, you know. They wasn't realistic, and it just became realistic over time.
Yeah,
I don't know. To me, I feel like 8 Famous Engines was like the turning point where he's like, okay, I'm going to start making this more of a real, like, realistic story series.
And then you have the Christopher Audrey stories, which are just complete. Thomas's driver pulled the regulator. He opened the steam valve, and Thomas started. His cylinders were pumping, and he let sand on the rails. And then you could just say, oh, or Thomas left the station. That also works, you know.
But guys, to further go on Nick's point, I hate to butt in. I still do. But okay. I do have to, like, that's the problem with the original, at least, like, the original stories, is that they were simplistic, but there was never any consistency as to whether the island of Sodor was its own, sort of its own universe, or if it was like attached to the real world, right?
Yeah, exactly. Was it a fantasy world, or was it a real world?
Exactly. That's why if you make the connection between England and Scotland and all these places, like even in, I guess, to be fair, in the TV show, when they're like, Donald and Douglas are twins who arrive from Scotland. Well, Scotland is a general. It's a general, you know what I mean? Like a general it's a culture, they're from Scotland, okay.
Yeah.
But once you start getting like really specific, like Thomas is going to England, right? He's traveling there. He's physically going there. Well,
right. Exactly.
Then you start taking all these real world factors into place, and then suddenly
like how did he get there? Exactly.
Like focusing on the story, because you're suddenly taking real things, and then it's like you're trying to follow. Well, is the island of Sodor? So is it an island off between Wales and England? But is it like, is it affected? Is it part of the Great Britain? I don't know. Like that's the problem. It overcomplicates it. It should have either been that most of the stories were somehow connected to outwardly or real world things, or it should have remained its own universe. The island of Sodor was its own place, and what happened there, for the most part, stayed within the universe. Otherwise, you get shit where it's like, oh, Thomas is a special letter. Well, now they're going to England with Ginty. Well, who the hell's Ginty?
Yeah, exactly. They bring all these real life trains in, exactly. And what really kills it for me. Oh, what? What'd you say? What did you say?
I said it kind of throws you off. Like,
okay. All right.
It just fucks me off. Yeah.
Even in the
it just jerks me off so much.
Like when Scotsman made his appearance, which was so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, Tender Edges is the most confusing episode ever in the show. I'm sorry.
Because it was such a terrible adaptation of the story.
Yeah, like what did Scotsman have anything to do with the story? And at the end, when it's like, have a good watch on Henry. That's right, you'll feel a different engine now. Henry wasn't sure, but he was sure that the voice belonged to Gordon. Well, who the hell else would it be? Who else would it be? Who else would it be? Scotsman's even there. You see his goddamn tenders. For all we know, they could have been shipped there, placed there.
Weren't they like originally going to make Scotsman, but like they ran out of time or something?
No, they were gonna make Scotsman, and they were gonna make the foreign engine from Gordon Goes Foreign. They were gonna make all of that, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And then apparently some model maker fucked up and then dropped Scotsman or something. I don't know. Like. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The difference, later on when they had a bigger budget, during this, I know for a fact. I was reading some interview. I think it might have been with David Mitton. I'm not sure, but I was reading some interview a while ago. And when they're filming the scene in Magic Railroad where James is in the smelter's yard and Diesel's like, are you ready? No, we're not. And it's like, the big red scene pretty much at the smelters, and James is about to die. One of the model makers literally drove James off the set, and he smashed into a million pieces, and they had to spend like a month putting him back together, and they had to like forget all the footage they filmed and come back a month later and film a bunch of scenes that didn't have James in them. And
I want to say 2004, I think 2005. They made a new James out of brass.
Yeah.
But it was like the original James still in some shots. You can see it in like James the Second Best.
I am so unfamiliar with the majority of episodes from season 8 to like season 10 or 11. I remember I watched all of season 12 when it was airing on PBS Kids because I thought the idea of CGI faces on model trains was so cool. I watched every single one of season 12. I watched like none of season 11, season 10, maybe like 5 episodes of season 8. But like I'm so unfamiliar with that whole era, even though it's the era that I technically grew up with.
I just know that one episode, but I know if you look like closely like at James's cab, you can see like fill marks because I think it was his cab mostly that got damaged in that drop you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And they had to hastily put it back together, and you can kind of see some of the seams and all that from when that happened.
My favorite error is when David Mitton forgot to put a head on Toby's driver, and they just put it back in post-production.
Oh my god, yeah.
In Toby's windmill. I love that.
Apparently, quoted like I think it was the cinematographer, and Thomas gets bumped when Bernie heads up to a like group of passengers. Right, he drives up. Right, like,
he ran over all of the students.
I would pay to see that footage. Like, there must be a plethora, because, you know, they always shoot a 3-to-1 ratio. So there must be so many bloopers of, like, just trains crashing into shit or derailing, or, like, Bernie like, just to see that shot, like, oh, hello, Bernie, we're glad. Like, just not even YouTube poop, but to actually see a shot and, like, have, like, that Star Wars Cantina music, like, and just, like, Bernie pulls up and crashes.
It's just a series of bloopers. That'd be so great. Like
No, I want to see. I read a whole thing about it. I always read about Magic Railroad. Yeah. But there was some dude where they said the last model scene that they filmed for the entirety of Magic Railroad was the Diesel 10 drop, and you know, no one, because there were so many rewrites happening, no one really got the full script until like the day of shooting, which was, you know, not the best idea. But all the model makers like, wait, you're telling me we're gonna throw the most difficult, most expensive, most complicated model off a bridge? Really? And everyone's like, you know how much time and money we spent building this actually functioning Pinchy model? What the fuck are you doing, Britt? And they were all really pissed. No one wanted to film the scene. And there's like, okay, fine, we'll just how about we have him, he'll land into the sludge barge off screen. And like, okay, fine. But they still had to have a guy who would just hold, you know, okay, 3, 2, 1, they had to have a guy below and above. I want to see the behind the scenes footage when they were filming the Diesel 10 drop, because they had to do it in one take. Yeah. They couldn't mess it up.
Fun fact, there were 2 Diesel 10s.
Wait, so
one
what
had
was
a powered arm and one had the powered motor to make it move back.
What happens in the original script?
He just died. He just lives.
What? Because you're telling me they added the barge as a last minute thing, right? To compromise.
No. What I'm saying is they always had the barge in there, but they were planning on shooting the scene where you see Diesel land on screen in the sludge.
Oh, okay.
But in the movie, he's like, ah, and then you hear a psh off screen.
I love how he goes perpendicular, right? Like,
and then he ends up in a completely different fucking direction.
Yeah, like I love that, right? I love that logic. Oh, but like you could, even as a kid, when I saw him fall, I was like, I thought in my head, because I knew they were models, I was like, oh shit, that's gonna break.
That arm's gonna break.
I think actually my first realization they were models is when season 12 came out. I was like, wait, their faces changed. Wait, this not real. Oh, come on. Oh, fuck you.
You mean the people with obviously wooden arms didn't give you a clue?
They weren't real? I mean, the trees are so good. The trees are so good, so you know it's real. They couldn't afford. No, actually, no. What they did was, you know, for season 1, the guy who played Sir Topham Hatt was such a wooden actor that's like, you know, we could just like for next seasons, we could just like have a bunch of fucking mannequins and just sort of put them next to our real steam engines, and we'll just go with that. Yeah, and then we'll get Ringo Starr to voiceover. Why not?
Why not? We'll just get a Beatle to do this. He's not working now.
They get like freaking like George, and he's like, well, there's some music on here, and then you just no, get Ringo. He's no, okay, sure. You know, because George sounds like he sounds like John, and he's not. If you took John, Paul, and Ringo and put them together, that's George's voice. Well, you know, and well, we had to do this scene, but I had to record my vocals differently, and blah blah. And it's just so funny because like it sounds like the love child of all 3 of them put together, and then they just like, oh, we'll put him in the band, okay.
I really wonder like what like the audition process was to get Ringo as the narrator. Like, did they approach him?
Oh, I know. Once again, I will say this. I read an article all about it, and I know the answer, but I'm not going to say because I'm getting really annoyed with myself. I'm getting really irritated at myself saying, well, I read an article. What?
So am I. You keep talking about yourself. Jesus. Well, I read the article. Well, we probably read the same article, too.
SIF was my favorite website for like 4 years, so I read everything on that goddamn site. Everything.
Wasted so much time.
I don't want to talk bad about SIF, but...
All right. So we brought up Chris Thompson. We brought up my narcissism, and we got about 20 minutes left of this podcast. What else is there to talk about?
on something earlier, and I was gonna bring something up.
LSD?
Yes.
We were on LSD earlier, and we watched Magic Railroad, and it's like, oh well, that makes so much more sense now.
Earlier when we were talking about bloopers.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Well, like, you really gotta wonder how many of those were, and like how many of the models got like damaged in the process. Like,
Well,
you know,
freaking, like the first shot. Like the first shot of the series when he's like, Thomas is a little blue engine with 6 small wheels, and the model is like beaten to hell because it's already been through all. You can tell that first shot of season 1 is like the last thing they filmed for the season because the Thomas model is like looks like someone put him in a blender, took him out, and there's like, okay, we're ready to film.
You guys ever wonder like in some of like the big crashes, like Better View for Gordon, like. Help me, please.
Help me, please. Oh God.
He just like Baldwin impression.
Well, Gordon.
Baldwin season 5 and Baldwin season 6, like it's so polar opposite.
Yeah.
He put so much effort into season 5, and season 6 is like, well, I'll do a pirate voice for this new guy. I'll do a weird Victorian lady for this guy. I'll keep this her top hat voice because why the fuck not? And I won't put any. Oh, I'll have the yard manager be some weird Boston guy.
Yeah.
You of course confused and delay.
I'll have to report this to the top hat, my boss. All right.
I'll make him an offer you can't refuse. Like it's so like what was it?
I remember when I was little, my dad used to imitate him all the time. He's like, if I did something wrong, or like if I dropped a plate or something and the plate broke, my dad just be like, I'll have to report this to the top of my hat.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So, because I always thought that voice was great. Because that episode was so bizarre. James lost his gay, fruity accent, right? Yeah. And then the rest of the characters are just normal, except Ari and Bert, who are like British. But then that guy just has like the mafia. You know what I mean? Like he just is like in the mob. He is in the mob. The yard manager is an associate.
No, it's like Sudrian. It's like Sudrian conflict. It's the blockade committee, the committee of workers on the Sodor Railway.
The unions are in the back pockets of the mafia. Very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
We figured it out, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
We figured it out.
I want to see that.
The mafia, they were the ones that were driving Birdie when they drove over all those passengers.
Exactly. That's I just said. Yeah. I want to see that shot, man. What was his name? Who did it? I think his name was Robert Gall.
Oh no, he's like the production designer. He's the one that like designs all the new engines and stuff.
Was he art director?
He was art director, something designer. Yeah.
I think he did work for Tugs, if I'm not wrong.
He did. Most of the Thomas people went to work on Tugs. Yeah.
A lot of people that got 4 Tugs and they stayed on with Thomas, like Peter Eves, like
yeah.
He got the job on Tugs, and then he stayed with like Thomas for like the majority of its run.
And the other guy who's like Jeremy King, I think, is his name.
Him too, yeah.
Or no, Jeremy King. He built the station master's house in season 2, and he made like have hair. You know, he made Trevor have moving eyes, and he built like Spencer and stuff. I don't know.
Oh yeah. It would be so cool to like meet these people and like see what they have, like photos of.
All these like yeah. Oh yeah. Here's my picture with the PT Boomer model, and here's my picture. Here's my 45-minute recording of all the Magic Railroad deleted scenes because I was there at the premiere and I filmed it all like the Great Race on my phone. No, I mean, I'm not going to release this to the public, but yeah, here, you can watch all the... Oh yeah, here's Britt Allcroft's credit card information and her address, and here you go.
I love to see some like photos, like videos they recorded, like, behind the sets. Like, what if they took, like, the Oliver, the excavator prop, and, like, Ned, and they just, like, made them fight, you know, for fun? like Robot Wars, like, you know, like...
That would have been so cool.
They got drunk and stuff, right? They probably just did, like, crazy shit.
They had, like, Fast and Furious fights with the Jack in the Pack models.
Like, they probably took one of, like, the little... They probably took, like, one of, like, Thomas's driver, like, stood him up, put Thomas's O-face, right? Like, his shocked face. And then, like, had Thomas move back and forward so he looked like he was doing a blowjob. Like,
No, I mean, there's a couple little instances that you see, like in James in a Mess or Dirty Objects for you UK weirdos. When James crashes into the tar tankers and there's a wide shot and you see all of these dead workmen in the corner.
I love that. Yeah.
Or even later, Legend of the Lost Treasure at Knapford Station. There's a fucking graveyard.
All those tombstones.
At Knapford Station, in one of the areas in the background, there's a bunch of tombstones.
Well, isn't there like a church there? Like.
Well, yeah, but like there's like a graveyard. It's just really funny.
It is kind of a weird place for a graveyard, like
right next to a train station.
Biggest train station on Sodor.
The real question is, where are the negatives to all this 35mm stock?
That is a good question. I'm sure Hit has it.
Well, if you think, okay, David Mitton died with the footage for the missing coach, so of course he still has all that stuff.
And I'm sure the top hat prop is in his basement, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm sure his wife.
No, because like Top Hat, watch this happen 10 years later or whatever. Top Hat, I guarantee Top Hat was David's favorite character, and it's like, hey, well, you know, the company doesn't exist anymore, so can I just sort of have the model? Oh yeah, sure, David, go ahead. You're the director. Why not?
Oh, is Top Hat? They never found Top Hat?
They have all of the models except for Top Hat.
Oh, that sucks.
They don't have the Fulton Ferry either, which you know is with the Thomas stuff.
Well, yeah, no, there's a shit. Did you see those Instagram pictures of that guy who was like posting pictures of the fucking carousel? The merry-go-round from season 5 is like, another day at work. Where the fuck do you work?
A good question. I think those are old photos.
Now, is it true?
It looks like they're just at like Southampton or wherever they store the Thomas stuff now. I have no idea.
All the rolling stock characters got redesigned during season 6.
I want to say yes. I know in production of season 10, that's when they gave Birdie and Terrence and Harold moving eyes.
Terrence.
But does that mean
Terrence, really?
Like, for instance, you know the season 1 Thomas as we know it, basically like if you see a behind the scenes photo and you see the season 1 Thomas that Ringo is holding, you're telling me that's gone?
I want to say it exists still, because like the James, like they use like the season 1 James still up till the end of the series, but I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe it is gone.
It's like there's something about maybe it's just the faces, but like, do you think they still have like the actual like season 1 faces? Like
somebody from the cast. They didn't have like an auction. They just like privately took them, I guarantee. Or I mean, they probably didn't use them year after year because they cracked or whatever, you know. Somebody has like a plastic bag full of what looks like cocaine and labeled on it's like Thomas's shocked face 1984.
I want to say they did still have them, just repainted them every season. That's why they kind of look more matty.
Well, no, that's like if you watch the Hit Entertainment episodes or like even season 6 and 7. And you can just go shot for shot. Oh, that face is from Magic Railroad. Oh, that face is from Magic Railroad. Oh, that face, because they made all new faces for Magic Railroad, and they just kept using them. So like season 12, when they're not using the CGI faces, and there's like occasionally you can see like the model faces. In season 12, 2008, they were still using the same face masks from Magic Railroad, which was filmed in 1999.
Yeah. You gotta wonder though, like the Peter Sam prop that sold like 2 years ago.
I remember that.
Season 4 face on it, like, you know, like they still have this stuff. It's still around. It's like
somebody has all this. Like, oh yeah, you get George, you get Cranky, you get Bulstrode, you get freaking Farmer McColl or whatever. Why not?
I'm sure it's just like remembers just
Henry of the season 1 old coaches. What the hell ever happened to that shit?
They probably got repainted into red coaches or like Annie and Clarabelle or something.
Wow, they're totally different. They're totally different like toolings though. Like, you really have to wonder what happened to those. It's a good question.
Somebody broke them and they're like, well, they're not important characters, so I mean.
I'm sure they were like really cheap pieces of crap. They probably fell apart. Yeah.
It's so sad though that we'll never like see that shit again. It's gone.
Never say never. Some of that stuff might appear up.
I mean, nobody expected to see the Tugs models again, and here we are.
Yeah. There you go. But the Tugs, I mean, that was like a period of time, right? Like Thomas, obviously nobody really thought, 1984, these Thomas models are going to be like cherished 30 years down the road. So why don't we keep copies every year? No, they were probably just like, repaint it, reface it, fuck it, who gives a shit, saves us money.
No, that's what that is what they did though. Wait, Nick, don't you? I don't remember all of the details, but you have a story about what they did for all the characters that weren't used in season 6. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, wait, hold on. This is not. Nick told me this at least a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. This is not common knowledge. I don't think many people know this, and it's really interesting. The whole Duke thing, all that stuff. So please tell the audience listening everything that you told me, and then I told Enterprising. Go.
Production of season 6. This is like after Magic Railroad was when they refurbished every prop. Like you remember like back on the old Thomas website, like you would see like front shots of the characters and like they're on a white background. Yeah. And you like see like Class 40 and I'm gonna think of another character. Like Sir Handel,
Boko, Spencer.
Boko, yeah. They refurbished the models in 2001, I think, and like that's just how they look now. They all have like the matte paint jobs, etc., etc. And I don't know if they were going to plan to use them. I know a lot of scripts got changed for season 6, but they refurbished every prop.
So no, basically, there would have been Oliver's Chocolate Crunch and the world's strongest engine featuring the return of Class 40 Bowler the Diesel, as opposed to Devious Diesel.
That's why there's so many Percy episodes. Like half of them, I don't even think we're supposed to be about Percy. Like
there's so many Percy episodes in season 2 and season 6.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I think some last minute changes were made. I have no idea, but that's how they refurbished all the main props. They still kept doing that. Like season 10, they refurbished Birdie, Harold, Terrence, and gave them moving eyes.
They made a gigantic large scale Trevor model that they only used like twice.
Which Thomas Tank Merch owns.
Exactly.
One to see if I ever meet up with him. But like the biggest thing is Duke. Like they took the Bertram prop and they repainted it back into Duke. And that's what the prop looks like right now is Duke. Have you guys ever seen like the back of the complete Series 4 DVD?
Yeah. I'll put the link in the description.
There's a little picture of Duke there. They call it a reference shot. They take like front, sides, and back photos of every prop that they have for reference, and that's what that Duke prop is.
I'm not surprised they did this shit. I mean, for fuck's sakes, they got rid of all the E2s, so fuck them. No wonder they fucked up all the models, assholes. Fuck humans. Fucking species. They all got wiped out.
Well, I mean, like, Brit was like, okay, you made a terrible movie. We don't trust you with our brand anymore. We're gonna have David Mitton. He'll still be here. He'll still be around the office. But I mean, like, Brit, you can't do anything. We're gonna get. And I know we'll get a team of writers. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And we'll have them write a bunch of episodes. And it's like, wait, who the fuck is Oliver? Percy. Percy's the green choo-choo, right? Yeah. Okay, make it about Percy.
Yeah.
I guarantee Thomas in the jet engine was probably like Stepney in the jet engine or something.
Probably, yeah. They changed a lot of things with season 6.
And that's why Stepney appears. That's why Stepney appears in like 3 or 4 episodes of season 6 is because we got to have a character for this scene and we're already using Duck. What about that character who appeared like 4 times in season 4? Do we have Stepney? Yeah, we have Stepney. Okay, well you put him on set. Yeah, he can bump into the back of Duck when he's watching a red balloon. Why not? Why the fuck not?
There's so much production behind season 6. Like that wasn't like they developed the pack. Like all that, and they had
Is Mavis based off British Rail Class 07?
Who? Mavis?
Mavis.
I don't know, man. I'm not Eric. I don't know these bases.
No, because I'm just giving you a reference because I'm looking at this and apparently, I'll put a picture. So apparently these shunters replace the E2.
Isn't it Rosie's base? I thought Rosie's bases replaced the E2.
That's fucking salty. Salty replaced Thomas.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, true.
And they all work together as a family on Sodor.
One friendly family, old friends, new friends, real friends, true friends. We're so glad to be.
Rosie replaced Thomas, right? Am I wrong? Or is that...
According to NWR 1991's weird-ass train simulator series, that's correct.
Okay. I had no idea of that.
You lucky dog.
I can't believe they didn't. Yeah, but it's strange that they didn't preserve any of the E2s. How popular? How popular was the Railway series in 1962?
1960.
What year? What book came out that year?
62. That's like Gallant Old Engine or something.
Probably pretty popular.
No, wait, no, it's so no, wait. Yeah, no, because 63 is Stepney the Bluebell engine. So yeah, no, Gallant Old Engine was 1962, I think.
I would imagine it'd be pretty popular at that time. Yeah.
So it seems strange. Like Audrey just didn't think, oh, they got rid of all the E2s. Maybe I should do something.
But at that point it was.
Well, I mean,
right.
Thomas was never considered like one of the main characters until the 80s when they're like, hey, hey, Chris, can you write like more and more stories about Thomas so we can adapt them for season 2, please?
Yeah.
I forgot. Audrey was a crotchety, cranky old asshole who was like, I want it to be referred to as the Railway series because I don't want it to be about Thomas. Well, asshole, everybody likes Thomas. He's the most popular fucking runaway character. So way to go and just botch your own creation, you old fart. Good.
That's what we want. Come on.
Shitty house in Bath, England, fucker.
No, because his main, like, regardless of Henry's Forest or any other weird, obscure episode that you wouldn't want to like, his main gripe with like season 3 and season 4 is like they've taken my material, they've taken Thomas and put him in new situations he would never be found in. Like, why would Thomas be pulling this train on the main line for this one scene? That's completely illogical. That's preposterous, I say. Now.
Referencing, like, what was he referring to? Like,
probably like Rusty the Rescue, where he's like, oh, hello, your driver looks a little worried. I wonder why. I don't know, said Rusty, but I soon will.
I'm sure like cases like that, like the narrow gauge engines where you see like the engines in the background.
Yeah, it's like Thomas and Percy and Duck, and it's like, why would Thomas, Percy, and Duck be working together unless you specify?
I'm sure it was just like, there's like, who cares? So the crew members were just like, use whatever.
No, that's so much of the TV show, classic series, new series, so much of the TV show is like, okay, the only reason that we would ever like make a reference to a branch line or any type of like railway terminology is because we're adapting from an Audrey story. If this is a Britt Allcroft story, you would have Scarlowe and Gordon pulling a goods train together, you know?
Yeah.
Because no one gives a fuck.
It has to be realistic. It has to be 100% realistic or
100% gluten free, peanut allergy free. We gotta have no sodium, no freaking cholesterol.
Completely pure, realistic.
Purer than kale chips.
Or 0 out of 10. Or 0 to 10. Doesn't work.
Yup.
Audrey tried to kill Henry. That's so funny.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, Audrey's like, okay, no one knows what his basis is. My illustrator doesn't know how to paint him. I'm just gonna kill him off, and the fans are like, no, we like Henry. Okay, fine, we'll have an accident, and whatever. I don't want to use. That's why Henry didn't have a starring story for 30 years, from like Henry the Green Engine to Enterprising Engine. That's like 20-something years in between those books, and he didn't have a single starring role.
Audrey, this is shit what Henry's based off. He's a fucking train. Nobody cares about. He's a senior F5 for the Northwestern London Railway and was built by Donald Richardson in 1860. Like, nobody gives a shit. Okay?
Donald Richardson, who's best friends with Nigel Gresley. What a guy. What a friend.
Nobody cares.
Like, none of the trains at that point were based on anything. Gordon didn't look like an A1. Thomas didn't look like an E2. I don't know what the hell Percy was. Like,
no, Percy. I mean, that's why he was a green caterpillar with red stripes, because no one knew what his fucking basis was.
It's like he's getting mad over the fact that they started out as just simple bedtime stories. These were not supposed to be realistic. The engines were not based on anything. It was just little cutesy bedtime stories about talking trains.
And then it just kind of make them a lot of money, so they exploited the shit out of it.
Yep.
That's capitalism, my friend.
Yes, that is right.
Capitalism at its finest.
And also, I remember a really long time ago, at least 6 months ago, Rob and I were talking about this. Do you remember that thing I showed you where there's that there's some sort of wiki article or something where they're talking about how there's no proof that the Henry after the post flying kipper Henry is a different engine altogether from pre flying kipper Henry?
That's a bunch of bullshit. I don't buy that.
I think it would be so interesting if they... Okay, so Top Matt's like, we can't rebuild this freak engine with stolen plans of blah, blah, blah. He's like 6 different engines combined. Let's just scrap him. We'll get a different engine who actually functions. Paint him green. We'll call him Henry. Why not?
And we'll just lie to the other engines and say it's the same engine. So
yeah, I mean, his face is about the same. So why not? What, you got a problem? No, of course not. Why not? Go ahead.
Like no one questions it. It's like, how did you build the engine? Like, how is that possible? Don't question it, Gordon. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, your old buddy Henry. It's fine.
I am Henry. I am real human.
I am original.
Will work for Cole.
In a YouTube poop, that keeper of porridge, also known as keeper of beans.
Oh, that guy.
Keeper of beans. What a guy.
There's one where Henry has an accident, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Henry becomes retarded. So.
No, he's an exceptional individual. He's not a retarded person.
So Tom Pat realizes, he's like, we must get another Henry and scrap you. It's true. It's so inflated.
Or like once again, you have like the weird censor of like the UK. Like sometimes you're like, okay, well, we can't say the mainland, so we'll say we can't say England, we'll say the mainland. Or like other instances, like in the UK dub of Henry's Special Coal or whatever it's called, he's like, we don't have the money to repay you or whatever. In the US one, he's like, well, we just can't repay you because we can't rebuild you because I don't know why. Like he just gives some bullshit reason. In the UK when he's like, we don't have the money to build you again. For whatever reason, like, oh, the UK or the US audience is like, don't know what money is, so we can't put that in. That'll be offensive.
Versions were so much more blunt, and I guess it's because British people don't beat around the bush and are
the fat controller, Sir Topham Hatt, his Sunday name.
Yeah, like they just straight up. They didn't say it to his face, but they called him behind his back, which is kind of a shitty thing to do.
Sometimes they call it to his face.
He has a name, damn it.
Or like, like in most of the original series in the Railway series, it's like a secret name they call him behind his back, and then you get to later on like season 16, Thomas and the Sounds of Sodor, and like the great composer guy's like, thank you, fat controller, and he says it right to his fucking face.
Call him fat controller. I thought that was like just a name the engines called it, but apparently
the only person who doesn't call him fat controller is his mother, who's like, Bertram.
Topham Hatt Jr., whatever your name is.
Juniorson the Third.
What if like one of them slipped up and it's like, oh, hello, fat control. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
And he's like, what did you what did you call me?
I love how in Thomas in the Guard, Thomas is just like, rubbish. You're too fat. You need exercise. Like, just straight up,
He just said, yo, you have serious childhood obesity problems. You need to get that fucking looked at, bitch.
Engine can lose weight, right? And you need exercise. Like, I get it that it's supposed to be like that's something a person would say to another person. But like, this isn't another person. This is another trade. How does an engine understand the concept of exercise and what it means to be fat?
Maybe Thomas just like heard his driver say the term. He didn't like know what it meant. He's like, I'm just gonna call everyone fat now. Like,
yeah, we'll go with that weird excuse. Why not?
And I love that episode. Thomas is like a piece of shit, right? Like he's a piece of shit in that episode. He insults Henry. He goes off too quickly. It makes the guard run a goddamn marathon to catch up to him. And then the episode ends off like, they reach the line as quicker as before. And it like ends with that shot for the intro. Like, oh, okay, so if you're a fucking little shit.
Okay, Thomas was a total asshole until like season 5. Actually, no. Season 5 he was still a dick, Magic Railroad, he's like, oh, I don't know what eventually means, but it sounds really, really long. It's like they just sort of dumbed him down so far because he's such a dick in like earlier seasons, and he gets really what's it, James in the Trouble with Trees? He gets really pissed off. He's like, will you just shut up? I need my sleep and blah blah. And it's like Magic Railroad's like, well, I'm a happy engine. Hello, Mr. Conductor. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut up.
They need to make Thomas relatable to little kids in a big movie.
I like the fact that Thomas is an asshole. You have to think about it. Like, look at Pokemon, for instance. Like, the first season of Pokemon, Ash is a piece of shit. What's that? What? I'm doing something. Roll away. No, we can't use my computer.
That sounds like you just got shot. Hey, wait, I'm doing something.
Look at the first season of, yes, go away. I don't know, go away.
He's gonna poison your water supply, just watch.
Close my door.
Oh man.
Oh man, there's some real drama going on that end.
Dr. Phil, can you help?
Hello?
Mari Povich, can you help?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Calm, Hakuna your tatas, okay?
Let's just cut this out. This is bullshit. Okay. So, anyway.
I'm not cutting this out for the world.
No, man, it's just fucking dumbass. But anyway, what was I? Okay, I gotta get back to my train of thought. Fuck. What was I? It was in the middle of something. What was it?
Thomas is a dick?
Ash was
Yes. Ash Ketchum.
Oh, there you go.
Was a little asshole.
A little asshole.
Oh my god.
He never really wanted to have on his own. He thought he knew everything, but he was inexperienced. He was just shitty to Ash. Misty and Brock. Like he just didn't really do anything in that entire first season. So when he lost, he kind of comes to grips with the fact that he was a piece of shit. And now, since he's actually never really won a Pokemon match or a Pokemon tournament, which is kind of depressing. But that first season was like Ash getting his ass handed to him. And having to realize and be like, holy fuck, I'm a piece of shit.
But that's like the point though.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's character development. Like
Thomas has no character development because they adapted from different points of the Railway series. So it's like, okay, this episode Thomas is going to be a dick, but this episode he's going to be really nice, but this episode he's going to be really pissed off at James, but now he just wants to be Mr. Conductor's friend. Oh, now we have a team of writers, so Thomas is just going to be always just generically nice. Oh, here we go. Okay, why the fuck not? Okay, cool.
But the character never changes, which is really bad. That's why the Great Race had that stupid Will You, Won't You song, where it's like, oh, little Thomas, whatever could you do? I've been saying this since 1943 or whatever.
Yeah, that's the one thing I find so funny is like characters like James and Duncan. It's like if they ever get their comeuppance, they'll forget it in 2 seconds because James like he has. Almost every James episode is focused around the fact that James is a vain asshole to everyone. And then at the end, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I learned my lesson. I won't be a dick to anyone. Hey, you're different. You're a box on wheels. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Come here, you weird brown asshole. Mwah, I don't like people that aren't white. You're brown. Mwah.
Going back to that will you, won't you thing, like, why is Gordon, calling Thomas an idiot for wanting to go to the railway show? Why is he not calling out Diesel, who's sitting right there? Yeah, Thomas could do way more than Diesel can, right? Because
he's a steam engine, yeah.
But it's like, fuck, Diesel can't do shit.
Or I also like the fact in that song he's like he literally says, I'm modern and new. You're not modern and new anymore, man. We've got Etienne who just beats the world record in that same special, but he's like, yeah, I'm still the newest thing on the block. No, you're not. You've been here for in that same song you say, I was your first diesel engine. That means you're not the newest kid on the block. You've got freaking Pip and Emma and all these really fast engines. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm still the iPhone 8. Yes, sirree, that's me. Whee!
I have a question about.
I'm as many as a schoolboy.
I have this question about the Great Race. So Thomas basically is racing other steam engines. Right?
Nope. Incorrect. He does not. That's another thing. Thomas does not race. He is in a shunting competition. It's not a race.
It's kind of a race. It's to see who
So that's why it's called the Great Race, right?
It's called the Great Race. It would be an accurate title. If the Great Race was an accurate title, the special would have been about Gordon.
Oh, I was gonna say it's called the Great Race, and the actual race in the movie is such a small part of it. It should have been called the Great Railway Show.
That's fucking wow. But okay, wait, you're telling me that Gordon races that 18 fellow?
Yep, yeah. he races Axel and Flying Scotsman.
Okay. Let's just make one thing clear. Having a train from the 1920s try and compete with a modern electric, what kind of
diesel electric Vickerstown type whatever it is, a type 2.
That's like having a modern bullet train or TGV race a fucking steam train from the 50s, or like having a 1910 T4 racing a Ferrari. Like, are you insane?
Yeah, it's so, and the funny thing is the fact that the only reason Gordon doesn't win the race is because his boiler explodes. That's the only reason. If he didn't explode, he would have won against the modern electric engine.
Wow. Well, how?
I don't know how.
Because.
Oh, by the way, I found the video where Henry gets replaced. So you want to listen? Just take a listen.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, this is YouTube poop. Heinrich suffers dreadfully, and no one cares.
Heimlich the caterpillar.
But Henry was very damaged. All the contact came to see. The signal was Santa, said Henry. Cheer up, Henry. It wasn't your fault. Drink and driver who caused the accident. The signal was down, sirs. No, Henry. My name is Henry. I'm the train.
Oh my god, I can already picture the vision.
No, my name is Henry. I'm the train. My favorite Thomas YouTube poop of all time is the one where Postman or not Tom the Post or whatever his name. What's his name? Tom Tipper the postman was a terrorist.
Yeah, it goes to the railway. This is a bad railway. He starts shooting people. Wait, listen again. Ready?
Take a bloody lesson, do ya? Eat some fire.
Fuck, shut up. Ready? Shh. Listen to the end.
Controller very sad. I'm sorry, Henry. You're too retarded. Now we will have to get another engine. Scrap you. Hurrah! Ah, cried Henry. That will be lovely. I suppose. Lol.
There you go.
I suppose, lol.
That's what happened.
That is exactly what happened to Henry. We Sherlocked Holmes the shit out of this. We finally figured it out. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate your help.
Well, it wasn't you. It was Keeper of Beans.
Yeah, it was all him, dude. Keeper of Beans. He needs to come back.
He kept all the beans and didn't let any of them go, and that's what we can credit him with.
Oh, but the irony is that he spilled the beans. Get it?
Oh, he spilled those, and then that's why he was keeper of porridge later on.
No, he was keeper of porridge before.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, come on, Vinny. Get your timeline straight.
I'm sorry. I've traveled in time so many freaking times that it's just I don't remember what year is it. What year? Wait, what year is it?
It's the island and the classic series at the same time. Yeah, you gotta stop time traveling, dude.
It's really I just walk into these I'm walking to school and there's a fucking portal appears and I get sent back to the dinosaur times and I just make it back for biology. It's awful.
It sounds like a real personal problem. You really gotta see your doctor about that, maybe.
And it's just every time I go back in time, all I can do, I just look at the dinosaurs, and it's just grease and oil.